All right, without further ado, I'm here to introduce our speaker today for our deep dive into our WellCents platform, ASA Hunter Collins, accompanied by our Senior Business Development Manager, Luke Vandermillen.
Thank you, Ashley. Appreciate the introduction. Hi, everyone. Hope you guys are having a great start to your Thursday. I'd appreciate you joining us today for going through a quick overview of WellCents and some of the new dashboard and reporting features that help improve that data that you get through utilization on that. Let me go ahead and I can share my PowerPoint. So what is financial wellness? It's very often talked about. It's becoming more and more important for plan sponsors as well as their participants. Just kind of at a current point in time, about 70% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck. 64% of Americans can't cover a $1,000 emergency without borrowing money or putting it on a credit card. And 54% of Americans are not getting any sort of financial advice at all. So there's a massive gap in service that's being provided to Americans where they're basically left to fend for themselves in terms of financial wellness, financial advice, et cetera. So that's where WellCents really comes into play, is in addition to just the retirement planning that all of you do for your plan sponsors and their participants, this also helps give much more of a well-rounded experience for financial wellness, including helping with budgeting, debt management, emergency fund planning and savings, protection planning, homeowners insurance, car insurance, disaster insurance, college planning for their kids or paying off student loan debt for themselves, as well as investments. So in addition to that retirement planning, they also have an additional nest egg for when they do want to retire once they finish work. And going off of that, one of the real benefits of both financial wellness to get that full, well-rounded experience, as well as with WellCents specifically, is helping with effective communication. So 70% of employees really feel valued if the employer's benefits are easy to understand, if they're straightforward, they don't need an attorney to go look through it, try and figure out what all the words mean. 55% of employees wish that they were more informed about their benefits so that they could get better value, take more advantage of them. They feel like they're leaving kind of some stuff on the table just by not knowing about it. And 40% of Americans spend more than 3 hours a week dealing with personal finance issues. So, it takes up a lot of time. That's time you can spend with your kids, family, just hobbies in general. So with rich benefits and effective communication, combination of those two, we get 84% employee satisfaction. With not so rich benefits, but still effective communication, we drop down to about 76%. With rich, good benefits, but very ineffective communications, that drops down significantly to 26%. So as you can see, almost irregardless of how good the benefits are, the communication behind those benefits and the interactions with the participants and employees is the most important driving factor behind that employee satisfaction. And that's where WellCents comes into play. As you can see from this image in this graphic here, kind of operates in a cycle. So it starts with employee outreach, reaching out to the participants, getting them involved in WellCents, getting them involved in some sort of financial planning, getting those thoughts in their head. Second step would be the financial wellness assessment through WellCents. So employees and participants would go through and fill out a bunch of questions, and it would assign them a score based on 3 different categories on how good their financial wellness, financial planning, financial security is. Next step from there, going on to the third action item, would be one-on-one meetings. So that would be through WellCents. Participants are able to book those one-on-one meetings with you guys, the advisors, to begin that process of planning out their own personal custom financial plan. And from those meetings that they'll be able to create with your assistants an employee action plan. So whether that's trying to get more money into savings so they can afford a down payment on a mortgage, or if they're not hitting their match, maybe getting them up to hitting their match on their 401k. And then from those action plans and the data gleaned from those one-on-one meetings, that gets rolled into some of our new reporting features, which is step 5. And that allows you to go back to your plan sponsor and say, here's the value we are adding, and here's how we're benefiting your participants individually. And that, from that data aggregation, allows you to see a much kind of 50,000-foot higher level view of concerns, financial problems that might be facing the office. So when you do go in for your group education settings, you're really able to tailor it more for, say if half the employees aren't hitting their match, you could tailor the session around, here's why you need to hit your match and here's how this will benefit you down the road. So it really helps target your offering so you make the best use of time when you're in front of your clients. So as I spoke in step 2, there's that financial wellness assessment. So based off a series of questions that are asked in an examination, that will assign a WellCents score, and that's made up of 4 different components: personal finance, investment planning, retirement readiness, and protection planning. And that's aggregated together, to give you a total average score. So it's out of 100, as you can see by our example average score here, not doing so great. And even from there, there's the breakdown of who's gone in and had meetings with you, who's had virtual meetings, group meetings. And then from that, across every participant in WellCents, you're able to look at the action plans and next steps. So in this case, kind of the example I spoke earlier, the majority of the next step action plan was to increase deferrals. So it really allows you to both target the participants for what they can best improve their financial wellness with, as well as to go back to the plan sponsor and say, hey, here's where you guys, could improve your communication, could improve aspects of your 401k plan to make sure that your employees are best protected and are as satisfied as possible. So a couple weeks ago, we refreshed our WellCents dashboard. So for those of you that are familiar with the Advisor IQ feature in the RPAG portal, this will look somewhat similar. So it'll give you some nice clean graphics with some more data points, as well as automatic overnight updates. So as you have more participants take these assessments, book meetings, attend meetings, etc., that data will feed in and update. And the nice thing with this is everything is fully customizable and clickable. So if you want to find out more about those 5 meetings that are scheduled and the 5 different attendees, you just click on that box and that will take you in there. And then additionally, you can get a further breakdown by going into each actual questions. So across any employee or employers that you have with their participants filling this out, you can actually go and see the average score for every single employee that's filled out that examination to really give you a better idea, again, of those action items that you can start to create, how to best plan your meetings and best plan your time when you're in front of your clients. And segueing from that increase in data, we have some new reporting features that both take advantage of that data and add to our current reporting suite within WellCents. One of our newest additions is point-in-time reporting. So as you can see here at a little graphic on the right-hand side, it allows you not only to run a current report, but also if you wanted to compare, 2 years ago versus last year, or even just up to, current point in time. And that really allows you to go back again to your clients, the plan sponsors, to say, here's where we're adding value, here's where we're increasing participation, employee engagement, all of those different action items that they're all worried about, and also is beneficial to those participants' financial health. As with everything else in RPAG, these reports are fully customizable. So really allows you to make it as much of your own as you want, or you can change the color, change the layout, really, like I said, fully customizable, as well as it allows you to hit on kind of your best points. So say, employee deferrals have gone up 13% since you instituted WellCents. You can really add that in to focus on that on the report to really drive home the value add that you are providing for your clients. As well as there's a new participant survey. So after the meetings with you, after they take the assessment, and even after some of the group meetings, all the participants are able to take that new survey, which really just adds an additional layer of data and detail to that WellCents assessment, and allows you, again, to go back to your office and to the plan sponsors to say, here's where we've added the value, and here's where we have things that we can focus on to improve going forward. So to look at some of the report data, just to give you a few data points and examples, it also will split things up by household income. So in this case, makes it pretty easy to show the differences between what the actual top financial priorities are based on different income brackets. It shifts from college savings become more and more important, as well as establishing an emergency fund becomes more important as the income goes up. Things like that. So really allows you that extra level of information to be able to retain and use. Looking at some before implementation and after implementation examples. So going now and then before implementing WellCents, The majority of participants are no longer spending more than they make each month. They're spending less, so they're no longer racking up debt on a credit card, pulling out of their 401k, anything like that. So a significant increase in participants that now have emergency savings. So as you can see, 76% had nothing before. Back to that data point from one of my first slides, that the majority of Americans can't cover that $1,000 emergency expense. And then, as you can see across the board, the types of debt that each one of the participants had went down. So, broad improvement, not even in just one single category as a result of WellCents. And moving on into some more retirement planning data points, the more participants are actually saving enough to meet their retirement goals. Significant increase in the number that actually know what they need to be able to retire, as opposed to just putting money away and hoping it's going to be enough. They actually have that background and information that they can begin planning more effectively for their retirement, as well as a very significant increase in the number that are committed, putting away into the company match, as well as a significant decrease in the number that are unsure. So even if they're not necessarily hitting that match, they at least know more about it and can plan to hopefully hit that or adjust their budget accordingly. And segueing off this, I just want to show you guys a quick case study done between 2020 and 2022. And this is once WellCents was implemented, and then using a lot of the different supplemental materials that we have. So we offer email campaigns, prize giveaways, one-pagers, memos, everything to keep that engagement up over the course of time. So looking at that 2-year difference between 2020 and 2022, you can see that the average WellCents score actually improved by 31 points, so very significant increase. And even more arguably, in my opinion, important than that is that individual WellCents scores on each one of these breakdowns went up significantly across the board. So this average was not just skewed by personal finance going much higher or one specific area. We got a broad, well-rounded increase in financial wellness, financial security, and participants' comfort with their finances and their knowledge of their finances. So before I round out, just want to go over kind of a quick one more snapshot. So WellCents is an end-to-end financial solution, and that includes both the assessment and some of those reporting options that I showed you, in addition to calendaring, meetings, action planning. There's content decks, participant surveys, employee memos, email campaigns. So it's not just we have this technology, we also have all that back service support that we offer to help you guys make the best use of it. WellCents, as I said, is created to really help increase financial knowledge, financial confidence, and remove barriers that prohibit a lot of employees from making poor financial decisions just due to lack of knowledge and not having the same exposure that we might all have to a lot of financial planning. And kind of as I touched on at the beginning, why WellCents and by extension financial wellness writ large are important. It's becoming more and more important for plan sponsors to be able to provide something in their 401k plans that they have you guys take care of to their employees for financial wellness. It increases employee engagement. It helps lower employee turnover, as well as helps increase the general financial well-being. And then how it works, won't go too far into that. That is kind of the nice circle graphic I showed you at the beginning, just written out in numbers. Really appreciate all of you joining, both myself, Luke, and Ashley today. And as always, please feel free to reach out either to myself, you have my information there, Luke, or anyone on our support team at support@rpag.com. And we're happy to either give you a demo or take you through any questions you have, or really just help any way we can. Hope you all have a great rest of your week.